Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how you can create this photorealistic scene in Blender cycles, and I'm going to show you the ways that I've used to achieve this result. And if you are interested in this project file, you can find it on my Patreon. That's a great way to support me. So let's get into the tutorial. So when we start the tutorial, this is just a new Blend file. Before anything, we need to install fSpy. To do that, just go to your browser. I will place this link in the description below. We're going to use fSpy to help us with this tutorial. So there are two things that we need to install. The first one is a standalone application. We need to install that. And the second one is we need to install the importer inside Blender. So for this one, I'm going to click this one right here. I'm going to click download and it will lead you to this page. After this, just download this one right here. And the second one is we need to install the add-on for Blender. And for this one, just download this one. I will place both of the links in the description below. After this, go to the folder that you have downloaded them. In this case, they are found in my download. So the first thing I will do is I will extract this one. I mean the standalone application. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to extract it. And you will have this folder. And if you open it, you will find this fSpy.exe. Just open this one. Now we have the fSpy app. So after this, just go to file and click open image. After you select the image that you are going to use, I'm going to select this one and hit open. This is an image from unsplash.com. But before going any further, let me minimize this one and let me go to Blender and let me go to edit and then preferences. After this, go to the add-ons and then click this install. We're going to install the fSpy add-on. And for the download, the name of the add-on is this fSpy one, this fSpy Blender. Select this one. Don't extract it or anything. And after this, just hit install add-on. When you do that, you will find something like this. Make sure that this is activated and hit save preferences. So for example, if I go to file and then import, now you will see an option called fSpy. So that's the thing that you need to do. But before doing anything, let's go back to the fSpy file. Let us align the perspective for this image. And we have properties right here, the vanishing points and everything. We can see them later. So let us change the vanishing point. Since this one is 1 point perspective image, I'm going to change the vanishing point to 1. When I do that, as you can see, the number of lines have been decreased to 3. Before they were 4, as you can see, but now they are 3. So what I can do is I'm going to leave this one as it is, since this is perfectly horizontal line. But for this one, I'm going to make them vertical like this. Something like this. Just when you're dealing with 1 point perspective image, all you have to do is just make things like this. Just make them as vertical as possible so that we won't have that much perspective problems. So as you can see, when I do that, we can see now the perspective is correct, as you can see. That's how you can check it. And there's an option called 3D guide. For example, if I change this one to YZ grid, as you can see, we have a YZ grid. We can check the perspective like this, as you can see. But I'm not going to use this one. Or also you can just use box. As you can see, we can use box. This is just the way that you can use in order to check your perspective, as you can see. Yep. But for this case, the one important thing in dealing with one vanishing point is the focal length. For example, if I increase the focal length, as you can see, it's becoming more flat. And when I decrease the focal length, we are having a lot of perspective in our objects. But for this case, I am going to guess it, but I think 50 will be good. 50 will be good. I think I'm going to use 50. After this, let me disable this one off and let me enable this reference distance. I want the reference distance to be on the y-axis right here, something like this. And I'm going to place this one right here and place this one right here. And I'm going to give it 4 meters for the distance between this point and this point. By default, it's 4 meters. You can change it to 5 or something, but I'm going to give it. Next, let us change the axes. You can see numbers written on the lines. The red ones are number 1 and the green ones are number 2. So as you can see, we have number 1 and number 2. So for the number 1, I want it to be the z-axis, the positive z-axis, as you can see. After this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to file and then save. I'm going to save it. I'm going to click this one. I have already done this before, so just I'm going to let me delete this extension like this, car scene, and then I'm going to hit save. Now we have everything saved. After this, go to Blender. I'm going to delete everything, so press A and then X and then select this delete. Go to import like this, fSpy, and after this, select the file that we have saved right now like this. As you can see, we have the fSpy, and then I'm going to hit import fSpy project. When you do that, you may find problems like this. One of the ways I used to solve this problem is I use earlier versions of Blender. So what I did was I opened Blender 2.92 version. After this, I'm going to install the add-on. So just go to Edit and then Preferences. Just repeat the same process. Go to Add-ons and then install the add-on that you have downloaded. So I'm going to install that, this one, and then I'm going to hit Install Add-on. And then let me type fSpy. As you can see, I have already activated it, so just make sure that this is activated and go to right here and then save preferences. After this, I'm going to click close this one and then press A to select everything and then X and then delete. We don't need any of this. After this, go to file and then import and select this fSpy and select the file that you have saved previously. So I'm just going to click this one, Carcine fSpy, and I'm going to hit import. When I do that, as you can see, it's imported perfectly. So this is our origin point. If I go to fSpy, the place that we have placed this XYZ axis is going to be the origin point in Blender. So as you can see, this is the origin point. After we have imported our camera, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to do our modeling. So I'm going to press Shift A and I'm going to add a plane like this. And then after this, I'm going to activate this wireframe mode so that I can see it through the plane or through any mesh. Then after this, just press tab in your keyboard to go inside of the edit mode. I'm going to select this edge selection mode. I'm going to select this edge. I'm going to press GX to move it in the x-axis until it comes right here, as you can see. And then I'm going to select this line, press GY, and I'm going to move it like this. I'll select this one, press GY. After this, I think this road is somehow tilted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press R and then X, rotate it in the x-axis, something like this. Now I think it's fitting almost perfectly. Yep. After this, just go inside the edit mode again, select this edge, press GX and move it until somewhere around here. So we have our road, as you can see. The next thing that we need to do is we need to model, the house and everything. So I'm going to select this edge and I'm going to press E to extrude it. And then I'm going to press Z to fix it on the Z axis, something like this. Then after this, let me get out of the camera mode. I'm going to press E again and I'm going to fix it in the x-axis, and in the top left corner you can see how much I'm extruding this line, as you can see. So I'm going to extrude it maybe around 0.04 or something, maybe on something like this. After it, let me activate this snap button like this and let me change this to edge, and then I'm going to press E to extrude it and I'm going to press Z to fix it in the Z-axis, and I'm going to hover around this edge so that it will be snapped to this edge, as you can see, like this. And after it, I'm going to press 0 and I'm going to press E to extrude it. And I'm going to type X to fix it on the Z-axis like this. If you have noticed, this one it's a little bit inclined, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press GZ, something like this. Yep, I'm going to guess this one, just press GX. You may not find all of the information right here, so just you might have to guess some things. So just press GX, maybe something like this, and then press GZ 0, press GZ. Yeah, let me deactivate the snap button, press GZ. Yep, something like this will be good. And after this, let me model the building. So I'm going to select this one. But as you can see, this one is inclined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press SZ and then type 0 in your numpad. Now this will make this a straight line, and then press enter. Now this one is a straight line like this. I'm going to press E to extrude it like this, and I'm going to press Z so that it will be fixed on the Z axis, and then press GZ and then move it somewhere around here. And I'm going to isolate this one, so I'm going to select the face selection mode, select this face, and then press P and then select this selection. Now this one is isolated, so if I get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, I can select this one like this. As you can see, this one is isolated and the road is isolated by itself. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. After this, let me place those subdivisions to help me model this mesh. So I'm going to press Ctrl R to place subdivisions, and I'm going to place them in the respective area. So I'm going to press Ctrl R like this and place it right here for the windows like this. Press Ctrl R. As you can see, just place on the relevant areas. I'm going to place one also right here. Press Ctrl R, place one right here like this. Some of the image is out of focus, so just you just have to guess some of them, and also it's also distorted somehow, so you just have to approximate some things. So press Ctrl R and move it like this. Press Ctrl R, move it like this. Ctrl R, move it like So the first thing that I'm going to model is this four windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this face selection mode. I'm going to select this faces, the ones that are going to be responsible for the windows. I'm going to select one of them and I'm going to duplicate this one later. So I'm going to press Shift D to duplicate it and then press P and then select this selection. Now this one is separate object. So if I get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, I can select, let me disable this extra mode. I can select this one separately. As you can see, I can select this one, also this one. First, just get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab and change this one to a selection mode. I'm going to select both of the edges and then press X and then dissolve edge. I'm going to dissolve them. I don't need any subdivision right here. So just let me change this one to face selection mode and select all of the face. Press I to insert it. In case if the inserting is not working perfectly, what you can do is just get outside of the edit mode. Press N in your keyboard to slide out this tab and make sure that the scale is applied. For the scale to be applied, what you can do is press Ctrl A and select the scale. Now the scale will be applied. After this, press N to slide it in and then press tab to get inside of the edit mode and then press I to insert it, something like this. Since we have a detail, as you can see, I'm going to model this detail and then press I again to insert it like this. This may not be perfect, so you have to customize some things. Press I to insert it, something like this. Yep. First, let me get outside of my camera view and I can select, I'll click this edge right here. It will select the entire edge loop and then hold on Shift Alt and then click right here. As you can see, it will select the entire face loop. And after this, I'm going to press E to extrude it and I'm going to extrude it somewhere around here. I think this will be good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this face and then press P and then I'm going to select the selection so that it will be separate object. And then get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, select the one that we have separated, this one, press 0 in your numpad to get inside of the camera mode. After you select this one, the one we have separated, press Shift 3 to duplicate it and then hit escape so that it will be placed on the original position. The reason that I have duplicated this one is we have two parts. The first one is, the mullion and the windows. The second one is the protection one, the fence like structure. So that's why I have duplicated two parts. So I'm going to select one of them, press tab to get inside of the edit mode. And I'm going to press Ctrl R and then scroll your middle mouse upward to increase the number of subdivisions like this, as you can see. So I'm going to give it two number of subdivisions like this. And I'm going to press Ctrl R and place this one right here. Press Ctrl R again, place this one right here. Maybe press select, this one is already selected. Press GG twice so that it will slide along the edge and place it in the middle. I'm going to alt click this one and then press GG to move it along the slide. And then I'm going to Control R again and then place this one right here. After this, what I'm going to do is maybe press GG to place it in the middle. I'm going to press Control B to bevel it like this. As you can see, you could increase the number of subdivisions, but scroll your middle mouse downward so that the number of subdivisions will be 1. So I'm going to place this one right around here. And I'm going to alt click this one, shift alt click this one, and then I'm going to press Control B, and then since both of them is gonna have the same thickness, that's why I have selected both together. Something like this will be good. And after this, I'm going to press Control R and then snap it to the top like this, and then press GZ, and then I'm going to move it with a fixed number. So I'm going to use 0.05, but it's moving it in the positive Z axis. So I'm going to type minus in my keyboard. It will invert the placement, and I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to press Control R again, snap it right here. Press GY, type 0.05. If it's going in the negative direction, but just hit minus, it will invert the placement, and then hit enter. Just repeat the same process right here also. Press GY, 0.05, it's moving in the positive direction, so I'm going to hit minus so that it will be inverted, and then hit enter. And then do it like this right here also. So now we have the basic window frame, but we haven't done for this one. So I'm going to alt click this edge, select this one and control click right here so that it will select the consecutive edge. Shift click right here and then control shift click right here so that it will select the consecutive edge. And I'm going to press Control B to bevel it like this. As I have said earlier, this may not be perfect, so just something like this will be good, I think. So let me navigate outside of my camera like this, and let me hit slash number in my keyboard to isolate it. First, just get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab, and let us work with what we have got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, change this one to face selection mode, select this face, and then I'll click this one, I'll click this one, I'll click right here to select the entire faces like this, and then I'm going to hit P to make it an entire selection, and then select this selection so that it will be separate material. If you get out of the edit mode, you can see this one right here, and then I'm going to go to modifier properties, and I'm going to give it a solidify modifier like this, and you can control the modifier like this. You can make the face to 1 so that it will be inverted, and also I can go inside of the edit mode, just hit tab in your keyboard like this, just select the ones that are going to have the same property, and for example I'm going to click this one, control click this one also, just click the ones that will have the same property like this. Yeah, just like this. You can also shift to select multiple faces, and I'm going to hit P and then select this selection, and select the one that we have separated. Select this one, go to modifier and add a solidify modifier, and let me make this the offset to 1 like this, and I can increase the thickness like this. I'm going to select this one again, get inside of the edit mode. I'm going to select this one also, and this one. I'm going to hit P, and then maybe I'm going to hit Shift P to duplicate it, and then hit P and then selection. Maybe P and then selection like this. Just get outside of the edit mode by pressing tab and then select the one we have separated, and repeat the same process like this. Just give it solidify. Let me change the offset to 1 like this, and you can control the amount of the thickness like this. After this, let me hit /numpad to unisolate everything. Let me select this wall, press H to hide it like this. We have the one that we have duplicated before, so I'm going to select that one and get inside the edit mode by pressing tab. Press 0 in my numpad to get inside of the edit mode, and I'm going to press Ctrl R and scroll my middle mouse to increase the number of subdivisions like this. And then after this, I'm going to press A, and then I'm going to press X and select this only faces. When I do that, only the faces are going to be deleted. To see everything clearly, let me get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, and then let me hit / to isolate this one. Just get inside of the edit mode again. I'm going to select the top face like this, hold on shift and select the bottom face like this, and then press X and select H. Now the top and the bottom H are deleted. So after this, just get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, go to object and go to convert to a curve. Now this one is converted to a curve. After this, just go to this curve properties right here, and in the geometry, slide this down, and I'm going to give it a depth like this. When I do that, as you can see, we have a circular pipe. That's what we want. Now like this, we can control it. So just right click and then shade smooth. So if I press 0, my numpad, and then / to unhide everything, this is what we want. So we can adjust the placement right now. So just press GX like this, place it right here. I think the fence should be on the outside part of the window like this, right? Press GX like this. Yep, I'm going to place it somewhere around here. So this is for the window. And for the glass, we have already this one, which is left when we have isolated the mullions. So I'm just going to leave this one as it is, but I'm going to give it a solidify modifier like this. And I'm going to give it a thickness of 0.01. Maybe I'm going to leave it as the default one. I don't need to do anything about it. So this is, so if I press Alt 8 to unhide everything, and if I press 0, and if I go to this wireframe mode, we have completely finished our window. So by using this process, model the rest of the part. As you can see, this door and the windows right here. And for these 3 windows, all you have to do is just duplicate this one right here. You don't have to do it again. So guys, I have finished modeling the important elements. For example, this door, as you can see, this one. If I hide the wall, as you can see, I have finished those elements. All you have to do is just duplicate the process that I have shown you right here, and also for the window right here, and also for the fence around this basement-like structure. So after this, what you have to do is I'm going to press Alt H. I'm going to select this window. Let me duplicate this window that we have created over the other 3 places. So let me navigate outside of my camera. Let me select everything. Select this one. Hold on shift to select multiple objects like this. But before that, there are some things that we need to arrange. Let me select this one. Let me press H to hide it to see what we are getting. I think there are some things that we need to correct, right? Let me press GX and then move it a little bit backward. Let me activate this snap button, and let me change this one to H selection mode, and then press GX and snap it to this H like this. Yep, I think we have fixed the problem. Maybe select this one and then press GX. Let me deactivate the snap button. Press GX maybe move it like this. I think this will be good. After, let me press Alt H to hide everything, and then select this one, the wall, and get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. Let me select this face selection mode, and I'm going to delete the faces where the window is going to be placed. So I'm going to select this face, hold on control and select this face. It will select the consecutive faces, and then press X and then delete this faces. Now there's nothing overlapping the window right here. So after, just get outside of the edit mode by pressing tabs. So after, just select every part of the window. Select this one, hold on shift, select this one, select the window, and also select this one, the frame, and also select the outside frame like this one. And after everything is selected, just go inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. Press Alt-3 to duplicate it, and then type Y in your keyboard to snap it in the Y axis. And let me activate the snap button right here. And then I'm going to press GY and snap it right here. Press Alt B in my keyboard and type Z in my keyboard again. Move it in the Z axis, and then press GZ and then snap it to the right here. And then again press Alt D, and then type Y to move it in the Y axis. And then to snap it, press GY and press GY and snap it right here. Yep. Sorry, press GY, make it as exact as possible, like this. As you can see, this is perfectly placed. So after I have placed the windows, what you can do is just select this wall part, get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. I'm going to select this face, select this face, select the face where the window is placed, like this. Hold on shift to select multiple faces, and then press X and then select this face. Now all of the faces overlapping the windows are deleted. After this, just get outside of the edit mode again. I'm going to select this one and select the window later. I'm going to press G to see if everything is selected. Now everything is selected, and I'm going to press Alt D and then Y and move it in the Y axis. Let me go to this X view right here, as you can see, and I'm going to press GY, and let me deactivate this snap button. Press GY and move it somewhere around here, and then again press Alt D and then Y and move it in the Y axis. Let me activate the snap button and then press GY and move it right here, as you can see. So if I press 0, you can see we have successfully duplicated all of the things that should be duplicated. One thing I have forgotten is there's also opening for the basement right here. So what I'm going to do is so I think we have created the most important parts of this mesh. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, hit tab to get inside of the edit mode. I'm going to select this edge selection mode and select the bottom part, and then press E to extrude it, and then hit Z so that it will be fixed in the Z axis, and then press GZ and place it like this. After this, let me go to this face selection mode and then press P and then hit this selection so that it will be a separate object. So if I get outside of the edit mode by pressing tab and select the duplicated part, make sure that you have selected this duplicated part. Just hit tab to get inside of the edit mode. Again, press 0 to get inside of the camera view. So I'm going to hit Control R to create a subdivision. So I'm going to create subdivisions for the wall. I think something like this will be good. And I'm going to hit Control B to bevel it so that I will create the details needed. Something like this will be good. I'm going to navigate this one. But before anything, let me get outside of the camera view and let me select this one, the previous one. And I'm going to press H to hide it so that I can work freely. After you just select this one, get inside of the edit mode. Already this one is selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press E to extrude it. So I'm going to extrude it somehow like this. So after this, just get outside of the edit mode and then hit 0 to see what you've got. After this, we need to delete the parts where the windows or the doors are going to be placed. So what I'm going to do is let me navigate it like this, and I'm going to press Alt H to unhide everything. So I'm going to select the one that we have created everything with, and also select the wall and hit /navbar to isolate it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one. I'm going to press 8 to hide it. So let me select this. Get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. I'm going to alt click this 8. It's going to select the entire edge loop. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to alt click this one. It's going to select, as you can see, the entire edge loop. That's what I want. And also for the door, I'll click this one. And then I'll click this part also. I'll click this one. I'll click this one later. And then also do the same process for this one also. I'll click this one and then I'll click this one. We have selected everything that we need. After this, I'm going to press Shift P to duplicate and then press P and then selection. So if I get outside of the edit mode, I can select this one and it's now a separate object. and then hit tab to get inside of the edit mode. Press A to select everything, and then press P, and then select by loose part. Now everything will be a separate material. If you get outside of the edit mode, let me hide this one. Now everything is a separate object, as you can see. After this, I'm going to select this one, press A and then F to fill it. Select this one, press A and F to fill it, just fill everything. After this, I'm going to select everything like this. This one is the active object. I'm going to give it a solidify modifier, and I'm going to give it something like this. And I'm going to press Ctrl L and then select this modifiers. In the Blender 3.0 version, you can select copy modifiers around here. So just select this modifiers. Now everything is separate objects. So I'm going to select this one. Press GX and move it somewhere around here. After this, I'm going to press Alt 8 to hide everything. I'm going to select this one. Let me select this wall again. I don't need it for now. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to press Shift D and then press Z like this. And then let me activate the snap button and then press GZ like this. Shift GY and then press GY like this and snap it to this edge. Press GY. Yep. And then Shift DZ and then snap it right here. And also I'm going to select this one. I'm going to duplicate it. Go to this face. Press Shift D and then Y. Okay, snap it right here. Press Shift D and then Y. Press GY and snap it right here. Yep. After this, let me apply the solidify modifier of every one of these objects that we have created. And then I'm going to select everything like this. And then I'm going to get inside of the edit mode, and I'm going to press A and then X and then select this limited dissolve so that any unnecessary edge will be dissolved. So after this, I'm going to press Alt H to unhide this wall. I'm going to select this wall again. I'm going to give it a Boolean modifier, and I'm going to select one of this. As you can see, it has created a Boolean, but it's not accurate. So I'm going to use this fast like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it like this, and I'm going to use the same process, just delete this one and then select the second one later. I think this is accurate. And then again, just select this one, duplicate, and then delete this one, and you can select it like this. Or also what you can do is you can select, for example, you can select this three of them, and you can right click and then you can hit join. After this, select this one and then duplicate this one like this, and you can just delete the object and click this eyedropper and select this one again. But sometimes this may not be accurate, so you can use exact like this. I think the exact is giving us a good result. So by using this process, create all the booleans that are needed. After you have finished the boolean, what you can do is you can just apply them like this. You can just apply them. After I have applied them, I don't need them, so I can delete them, as you can see. So guys, as you can see, I have finished creating those openings. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to press 8 to hide it, and I'm going to select this one, the previous wall. Get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. I'm going to delete all of the unnecessary parts of this plane, and I'm going to hit C to create circle select. So I'm going to select like this. As you can see, this is an easy way of selection like this, and I'm going to press X and then select this faces. And also from this one, I'm going to select this parts. As you can see, so we're not going to need them. Select it like this, and also like this. And I'm going to hit X and then select this delete faces. And also we're not going to need this once. Also select X and then select this faces like this. Then after it, just get outside of the edit mode by pressing tab, and I'm going to press Alt 8 to unhide the wall like this. So this is the detail for the wall, and I'm going to hit slash number to unisolate everything. So guys, we have basically created the building. We're not going to focus on it that much anymore. So if I press 0 to get inside of the camera mode, there are some things that are left. For example, the stair and the rock right here, and also we have some kind of stone right here. So all you have to do is just create those details by using the techniques that I have shown you before. So I'm going to do that. So guys, I have created those parts like this stone and the pavement right here, and also the stair. After this, let us give some of the elements a bevel modifier. So I'm just going to select this door, for example. It's a little bit sharp, right? So what I'm going to do is select this one, go to this modifier properties, and go to add modifier and add this bevel modifier. When you do that, a bevel modifier is going to be added on it. To see it clearly, you can go to the solid view. This is the bevel modifier. If I disable it, for example, as you can see, we have more detail, and we have property of this bevel. For example, the first one is the amount. You can use 0.001 to make it a little bit smaller, or you can make it like 0.05. You can adjust the amount like this, And also you can use the number of segments that you want. As you can see, whenever you are increasing the segment, it's going to be detailed and the quality is going to be a lot better. But I'm going to use this one as 0.01, 0.001. I don't think it does not have that much effect after 0.005. So what I'm going to do is, this one is already selected, so select the other parts that you want this bevel modifier to be applied. So I'm going to select this one also, select this one, hold on shift to select multiple objects or anything. After this, I'm going to select this one last, the one which has the modifier, and I'm going to press Ctrl L, and I'm going to select modifiers or copy modifiers in Blender 3.0. After this, now the modifiers are copied like this. And after this, I'm going to select the frame ones, and also select this one. And then this one has already solidify modifier in, so I'm going to apply it. Since I'm not going to need it, I'm going to select this one also. I'm going to apply it, and then I'm going to let me select this one also. I'm going to give it a bevel modifier. Now we have a bevel modifier, but the bevel is a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize it. Let me make it 0.001 or something. Maybe 0.003 will be good. And I'm going to give it a segment of 4 so that we will have a lot of detail like this. After this one has already bevel modifier. To apply it to this one, what I can do is, this one is already selected, so just press Ctrl A and select this copy modifier, but make sure that the one with the modifier is selected last, or it's the active object. To know which one is the active object, as you can see, we have two kinds of selections. This one is a little bit like red, this one is a little bit like orange, so the orange is the active object. So that's how you can know it. So by using this method, just give all of them the bevel amount that you want. And for the wall, when you apply, for example, the bevel modifier, you may not see the bevel modifier being applied. So when you have the cases like this, you may have to do it manually. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab, and I'm going to press A to select everything, and you can press Ctrl B, and you can control the bevel like this, as you can see. So you can bevel it manually like this, and you can control the amount of bevel right here, or you can just if this is not expanded yet, you can just click this and you can expand it like this. You can control the width like this, and also the amount of the segments, but I'm going to leave this one as it is, and I want the segment to be 1. So guys, this is for the modeling part. The next thing that we need to do is we need to texture all of the elements in the scene, and I have opened this file in Blender 3.0 so that it will be a little bit faster, and I have opened the file in Blender 3.0 since we have finished the modeling process. So what you can do is I'm going to click this EV material preview to see what we are texturing in real time, and I'm going to slide this apart like this, and I'm going to change this one to a shader editor. So this is the place that we are going to create our texture. So the first thing that I'm going to texture is this wall. So I'm going to select this one. When I do that, it does not have any texture. To give it a texture, I'm going to hit this new. When I do that, it's going to have a basics principal texture setup. As you can see, we have a lot of properties. For example, you can just control the color like this, as you can see. But for this case, we are going to use image textures from mbncg.com. And for the wall, I'm going to use a concrete structure from mbcg.com. And I'm going to use this concrete 023. You can download the resolution that you want, but I'm going to use 2K textures for this tutorial. So just download this one. It's a zip file, and you have to extract this one after you have downloaded it. And then after you have done that, just go to the Blender and then go to edit and go to preferences. After this, in the add-ons, type node wrangler right here, and make sure that this add-on is activated. After you have done that, what you can do is select this one and then hold Ctrl Shift and T. When you do that, this folder will pop out. After you just go find the file that you have downloaded right now, the image texture. So guys, this is the file that I have downloaded. As you can see, I have the color, the roughness, the displacement, and the normal GL and normal DA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the color first, and I'm going to select this roughness. You can hold on Control to select multiple maps, and the displacement and the normal GL. So after this, what you can do is just select this principal texture setup. When you do that, this node wrangler is going to create the texture for you like this. You can see this is the setup. So I'm going to select this one like this. I'm going to press G, and when we see this in detail, as you can see, this is the base color. It's plugged in the base color. We have the roughness that's plugged in the roughness. We have the normal that plugged to the normal map and plugged into the normal, and we have the displacement plugged into this displacement node and plugged in this material output of this displacement. But we're not seeing anything interesting. The reason for that is we need to UV wrap this wall. So to do that, just get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab, and I'm going to press A to select everything, and I'm going to press U, and I'm going to select this cube projection for this one. So now we can see the texture of the concrete, but the scale is a little bit too off, it's too big. So what you can do is, in the mapping node right here, you can press Shift A and go to search, and you can type value, and you can click this value, and you can plug the value right here. By using this number, you can control this the amount of the repetition. So I'm going to use 10 for this case, for example. So this is the repetition of the texture. As you can see, it's a little bit better than the previous one. To create more variation among this single texture, what you can do is, I'm going to mix two textures. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to place this one right here. I'm going to press Shift A and search mix shader, and I'm going to place this one right here. After this, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to press Ctrl G to group it like this, and hit tab in your keyboard to get out of this group. And let me select this one, and let me delete it. Select this one, delete, and select this one, delete. So now we have a group of this principal texture setup, and I can hit tab to get inside of this node setup. As you can see, this is the node setup. And then after this, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to press Shift 3 to duplicate it like this, and plug this one at the bottom. Plug this one at the bottom like this, and I'm going to hit this number 2 so that both of them will be different with each other, and anything that I have done in one of them, it won't be duplicated on the other. After this, let me select this one, get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. I'm going to press Shift A and go to search, and I'm going to type RGB, and I'm going to select this RGB curves and place this one in the middle. For example, I'm going to make this one a little bit red, for example, and if I press tab to get outside of this node setup, as you can see, it's blending between these two. For example, if I make it 1, as you can see, it's going to only choose the second part, which is the red one. If I make it 0, it's going to choose the first one, which is a little bit gray. But I don't want the blend type to be like this, so I'm going to use a mask. And for the mask, I'm going to use a brick texture. So I'm going to press Shift A and type brick, and I can have this brick texture. I can hold Ctrl Shift and click this one to see what this will give me. So this is the texture of the brick, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to increase this mortar smoother so that we won't have that sharp edge. So after this, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to press Ctrl T to add this mapping node, and I can control some of the elements by using this mapping node. So I'm going to make, for example, 90. Let me make the X 90, and then also the Y 90. And after I have done that, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this one, the color for the factor like this. I'm going to Control Shift click this one so that this will be viewed in the material output. As you can see right now, it's blending between those two, the gray one and the red one. I need to match the scale of the brick to the scale of the wall. So in the scale, I can control this like this. As you can see, maybe something like this will be good, but the alignment is a little bit tilted. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to rotate this one a little bit in the x-axis so that it will be identical with the wall like this, and I'm going to move the texture a little bit in the y-axis like this, and maybe increase the scale somehow to like something like this. Yep, maybe something like this will be good. After it, let me change this mortar to, let me make it a little bit more white so that it will have a blend. As you can see, if I make it like this, we will see those visible seams, but I don't want them to be visible, so I'm going to make it something like this. As you can see, we have some kind of variation, right? That's what I was going for. So after I've done that, what I can do is, let me go inside of the second part. I don't want this one to be red. That's not what I was hoping for. So I can do is, I can disable this one like this. Let me go to the C to control the darkness in the lightness of the image. So let me make it a little bit more dark. So maybe something like this. As you can see, we are seeing some change. After this, let us texture the frame of this window. So I'm going to select this one, go to this material properties right here, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to drag this icon right here, and I'm going to drag and drop it. When I do that, the material is going to be copied from this one and applied to this one. First, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to click this new material so that this two won't have the same property. After this, I'm going to select this one, get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. First, press A and then U and then undrop. When I do that, the texturing is correct now. After, let me go to this material preview. I'm not going to use brick texture for the mask right here, so I'm going to select this one. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to use a leaking texture for the mask right here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to press Shift A and then go to search. I'm going to add image texture like right here, and I'm going to plug the color to the factor like this. After this, I'm going to hit new, and we have a property of the width, the height, and some properties. I'm going to make this one to 2048. I want this to be 4K, 2K image. So just type 2048 like this, and then hit OK. And change this one to non-colored data. After this, I'm going to switch to this texture pane tab like this, as you can see, and I'm going to go to this view, this front view. I'm going to use a texture leakage from ambiencg.com. So I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hit new, and then I'm going to click open and select the texture leaking image that you have downloaded. So these are the images that you find after you have unzip the file. So I'm going to select this opacity and I'm going to select this open image. After this, let me change the color space to non-color data so that it will be accurate. And then let me change the repeat to 2 in pose and XY axis. After this, let me go to this property right here. Make sure that the image selected is this untitled. If I go to this shading right here, as you can see, the name of this mask is untitled. You can rename it, for example, I can rename this mask like this. You can rename this to mask, for example. And if I go to this texture paint, as you can see, the name is changed. Make sure that this one is selected before you do any texture paint. After this, let me go through the properties that we are going to focus. In the mapping right here, make sure that this is view plane. In the stroke right here, make sure that this one is anchored. So after this, what I'm going to do is let me paint right here. If I click, as you can see, and don't let go, you can just control, as you can see, the rotation, the scale, and the placement like this, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is let me press Ctrl Z and let me click right here, for example. As you can see, I can place the texture like this, and also just make sure that this is close to the edge like this. So by using this method, you can place the linking. And to create versions, what you can do is go to texture, the texture tab right here, and click this new texture like this. After this, click this one. It will take you to this texture tab, and I'm going to click open, and I'm going to select other linking materials that I have downloaded. I will place the link in the description below. I'm going to select the opacity from this one. As you can see, the texture 001. I can click open and change this one to non-color data. Make the repetition to 2 like this as it was before. And if I go to the property right here, in the texture tab, as you can see, we have 2 textures which has a different alignment. I can also click this one right here again, click this one to go inside of the texture tab and click open, and then open another texture that you have downloaded. In this case, I'm going to select this leaking 002, and I'm going to select this opacity, and I'm going to click open, change this one to non-color data, and just repeat the same process like this. And then if I go to this property right here and just go to the texture, as you can see, I have 3 textures. So by using these 3 textures, I can create the version that I need. For this one, let me take this, use this texture 001, and let me place this one in the middle like this. Control Z to undo what you have done like this. I can use this one, texture 002, and I can create versions like this, as you can see. So by using this, create the linking that suits you. So guys, as you can see, I've tried to create something that's interesting. In case if you have placed the texture paint in the place that you don't want, what you can do is change this color to black like this. And then as you can see, you can undo the process like this. And also to remove the mask properly, let me change the stroke to, for example, a space like this. And I can just, brush it like this. As you can see, I can remove it like this. So by using this method, you can create the mask necessary for you. So guys, I have finished creating the mask. After which, what I can do is let me go to this shading tab and let me navigate and then get closer to the mask. And then I'm going to select this one of them. I'm going to select this one so that it will be a new material. After this, select this one, hit tab to get inside of this group. And let me make this one, for example, let me select this one, let me click X to delete it, and let me make it more black. As you can see, I think this is looking good. I'm going to press 0, and then what I can do is I can, for example, press Shift A and then go to search, add color ramp like this, type color ramp, and plug this one right here in the roughness. So I can just increase the roughness by using this. I can decrease it like this to see it clearly. Let me navigate and go to this side view. I think we can see things clearly from this view, but we're not having that much effect. The reason for that is the mask is not that much strong. So to make it strong, press Shift A and go to search and type color ramp and plug this one right here. And I can slide this black part like this, and also I can slide this white part like this. When I do that, as you can see, the leakage is a little bit more powerful than it was before, right? So as you can see, by using this, we can control the amount of the leakage. Then let me select this one, press tab to get inside of the edit mode. I think this one is a little bit too black, so let me make it something like this. As you can see, things are becoming more smoother, right? After it, let me give it a bump. So I'm going to press Shift A and go to search and click bump and plug this one right here. And I'm going to use this displacement for the height. When I do that, we have a little bit of bump, right? So if I press 0 to view with respect to the camera, this is what I'm getting. But let me make the bump distance to 0.001. I think this one is a little bit too much, right? And also what I'm going to do is let me make this a little bit lighter. Maybe something like this will be good. And also let me decrease the roughness. I think this is more rough. Maybe something like this would be good. So guys, by using this method, you can create all of the imperfection that you need. We have also imperfection right around here, and also, below the windows. So just place those imperfection in places that are necessary. You can also, go to texture paint, and let me change this to EV material preview, and you can paint this one in real time. As you can see, you can control the amount of you can just, as you can see, create the leaking like this in real time. I think this is better than the previous one, right? Yeah, you can make it smaller, you can make it larger like this. For example, if I change this to black, for example, let me change this to black, and I can, remove it like this. You can also use, a little bit of gray to make the mask blend between the white and the black, if you don't want it to be that much intense like this. So guys, I have finished creating the leakings in the places that are necessary, as you can see in the windows right here, and also below this window frame. So let me select this window right here, and I'm going to go to this material modifier, and then I'm going to click new to create a new image, and I'm going to change the surface to glass PSDF. After I have done that, I'm going to change the roughness to 0, and then I'm going to make the IR to 1.5. After this, by using the techniques that I have shown you to create the materials for this wall and for this window frame, give all of the textures to the door in, this faces textures. I'm going to do that for the purpose of, speeding up this tutorial. So guys, as you can see, I have finished placing those textures, for example this road and the textures right here, and also for the ground. After it, let us place the assets, the tree right here and the car, and also the tree somehow around here. And also I'm going to place some buildings, some blocks, so that it will help us with the lighting. I'm going to create those things. For the model, I'm going to use 3 models from Sketchfab. So if I go to my browser, as you can see, I have few alternatives. As you can see, this is an old car, and also there's something that it's a little bit interesting. As you can see, you can choose one of these 4 cars. They are free to download. You can just download them. So just click this download 3D model, and I'm going to use the second one, and I'm going to click download. After you have downloaded, just go to the place that you have downloaded them and extract it. I have already extracted it. After you have done that, go to Blender, go to File, and then Import, and select this GITF format. After you have done that, just go find it. I'm going to select this one. This is the car, so I'm going to import GILTF. When I do that, as you can see, it's imported, but the scale is a little bit off, so I'm just going to scale it like this. And I'm going to go to this top view, and I'm going to press R and then Z and then 90 degrees, and place it somewhere around here, and go to the camera view, and then press S to scale it. And then I want to join them, so I'm just going to select one of the car part to create an active object. After this, right click and then select this join. Now everything is joined. And then if I press in to check out the dimensions, we have the X, the Y, and the Z direction. As you can see, this is the X dimension. The reason for that is we need to apply the rotation, so I'm going to press Ctrl A and select this rotation. Now the rotation is applied. So if I click this Y, as you can see, now it's the proper value. And after this, select the car and change this one to a XYZ Euler. I'm going to scale it until it's maybe 4.5. Press 0 new keyword to scale it according to the camera view. And also let me activate this extra mode and go to the solid view to see the car behind. As you can see, I think something like this will be good. Yeah, it's maybe 4.2. Yeah, press GZ and move it until it's on the face of the road. If you go to even material preview, we see something that's really interesting. For the tree, I'm going to use a free add-on called Botanic Free. In order to install the add-on, all you have to do is just go to Edit and then Preferences, and click on the add-ons, click Install, and go select the zip file that you have downloaded. You will find that link in the description below. After you have found it, just select it and hit this install add-on. After you have done that, if I type Botanic Free, you can find it right here and you can activate it, and you can click right here. You can save the preferences. After you have done that, if you press in a new keyword, you'll find this tab called Botanic Free. You can select the spawn assets and then the deciduous. I'm going to select this black locust. I have around 4 free trees, so I'm going to select this one. I like this one. But before I hit OK, I'm going to change this one to solid preview so that Blender won't crash when I'm importing it. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to hit OK. Now it's imported. Then after this, I'm going to press S to scale it like this, and then press GY to move it in the Y axis. Go to the top view and place it somewhere around here. Maybe something like this will be good. Press R and let me rotate it so that it will be visible from the camera. Some of the lips will be visible from the camera. I can press S to scale it Maybe something like this will be good. After this, let me create the blocks right here. So I'm going to shift right click right here, press shift A, and I'm going to add a cube. And let me place this behind the camera. And I'm going to press S to scale it like this, maybe SX, something like this. I'm going to press SY and move it right here. After this, let me press shift D and then Y like this. After that, I'm going to select both of them, press SZ and scale them in the Z axis and select this one later. Get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. I'm going to select the top face and then press GZ and move it something like this. After that, I'm going to get inside of the camera view and go to this render properties and change this one to cycles and make sure the device is GPU compute. And in the sampling, I'm going to use 512 samples and I'm going to activate this denoise and I'm going to use albedo and normal for the passes. And in the color management, I'm going to change the view transform to filmic and I'm going to change this one to medium high contrast. After I have done that, I'm going to use a free add-on called Easy Hdri to create the Hdri lighting. So I'm going to select this Easy Hdri lighting. I have already shown you how to install this polygonic. So by using the same process, install this one. In case if you want to slide out this tab, all you have to do is press in your keyboard, it will slide out. After this, select this folder and go select the HDRI folder that you have placed your HDRIs. So as you can see, this is the folder. I have a lot of HDRs that I have downloaded from hdriheaven.com or polyheaven.com by its new name. So I'm going to place the link in the description below. After I have done that, all I have to do is create world north. So to see what we have got, I'm going to go to this render preview. So this is what we have got outside of the blue, but the texture on the wall is a little bit too much, right? So I'm going to select it like this. And the reason for that is the displacement is a little bit too much. So I'm going to select the second one, which is responsible for the displacement. I'm going to hit tab to get inside of this node group, and I'm going to make the scale to 0.01. I think 0.01 would be good. I'm going to select this one also, and select this one, get inside of the group, and change the scale to 0.01. I think the scale right now is, so I think the texture is a little bit better than the previous one. After this, you can change a lot of HDRs to get the look that you are going for. So the next thing that I'm going to do is let me slide this upward and let me change this one to worlded. After I have done that, you can see the node setup that this HDR have created for us. We're not going to manipulate any of this. All I want to manipulate is the direction of the HDR. So if I give the Z value to 90, something like this, as you can see, we have a better look. And also you can just, drag your mouse and you can just, check which lighting mode is better for you. So I'm going to use minus 61.3 degrees for the rotation of this HDRI. After I have done that, go to this output properties and let me activate this render region. When I do that, it's going to only render the region, which is the camera view. After this, what I'm going to do is let me navigate outside of the camera and then let me select this tool, and I can also manipulate it from this view, like as you can see, press GZ together like this. Yep, maybe something like this. This is the look that we are going for. So if I press 0, I think this is what I was going for. Press GY and move the cubes like this. If I go to my reference view, as you can see, this is the lighting angle that I was going for. So after this, so for example, if I give the sun strength 0.005, or maybe that will be good, maybe 0.006. So after this, what I'm going to do is let me go to this solid view, and then I'm going to right click right here, press shift A, and I'm going to add a cube. And then go to the top view, press GX and move it like this. After this, get inside of the edit mode by pressing tab. Let me activate this extreme mode and change this one to edge selection mode. I'm going to box select like this, and then press GY and move it right here, and then select like this, press GY and move it right around here. I'm going to create roughly the inside shape of the row. So press GZ like this and move it in the Z axis, select like this, press GZ and move it something like this. After that, let me select this face selection mode and let me disable this extreme mode. Select this face and then press X and select this faces. So if I press 0 to get inside of the camera mode and to see what this will give us, just go to this render view. Yep, I think it's a little bit better. The next thing that I'm going to do is just go to this render properties and click film right here and activate this transparent and activate also this transparent glass so that we won't see the reflection of the sky. I don't want that for this scene. And after this room is already selected, so just go to this material preview, hit new, and I'm going to change the base color to something like this. And also for the lighting, you can use a different HDR. For example, I'm going to select this HDR right here. As you can see, this is the lighting effect that I'm getting. and I'm going to disable this send strings, make this one to 0, and I'm going to navigate like this, and I'm going to shift right click right here, and I'm going to press shift A, and then go to light, and I'm going to add an area light. After this, I'm going to go to this property of this light and change this one to disk like this, and then press GZ and move it like this, and then go to this constraint properties and click this one and select this track too. After you have done that, using this eyedropper, select this wall like this. Make sure that the origin of the wall is in the middle. To do that, just right click and set origin to geometry. So whenever I move this one, as you can see, the light is going to follow this wall. This is what I want. After that, what I'm going to do is, let me make this to 2500, and let me change the size to something like this, and I'm going to press 0 to get inside of the camera mode, and then press G and place it like this. Maybe make this one to 1000 or something. The intensity is a little bit too much, right? Press G. Maybe the size is a little bit too big, so just change the scale like this. Press 0, and as you can see, we are seeing the reflection of this in the window. To disable that, make sure that this light is selected, go to this object properties, and in the visibility, make sure that you have disabled this glossy in transmission. When you do that, you won't see the source of this light. So just you can manipulate this one like this. You can manipulate the location and also the intensity right here. So after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to press Shift D to duplicate it and place it like this right here, and I'm going to press S to scale it, something like this, and I'm going to go to this polygonic and then select this convert to editable so that it will be editable. After I have done that, let me go to the solid preview. Let me tap to get inside of the edit mode. After that, let me select this extra mode and make sure that the selection is this H selection mode. I'm going to select like this, and then press GZ and move it in this location, and then press G and make it something like this. After this, go to the top view, make sure that the placement of this tree is correct, so just place it right around here. Press 0, and then press G and then Shift X to move it in the Z axis, excluding the X axis. So I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to press R to rotate it, and then place it right around. And also I'm going to select one of the tree, go to the top view, press Shift D to duplicate it and place it right here. Press 0 to get inside of the camera, press GY, and I'm going to place a tree right here. After I've done that, if I go to this render view, this is the effect that we're getting. And after this, let's go to this easy Hdri, and let me use this tint. So I'm going to give it a little bit of green value like this, and I'm going to use a factor of 0.4 so that we will have a greenish, vibe in the scene. And after this, I'm going to select this camera, and I'm going to go to this camera properties. I'm going to activate this depth of field, and I'm going to click the object of the focus. So just select this eyedropper. I'm going to select this car, and after, let me change the f-stop to 1, maybe 0.5. Yep, I think 0.5 is a little bit too much, so maybe 0.8 or something. Yep, something like this will be good. So after you have done that, go to this render properties and make sure that you have activated denoise in the render, and the passes should be albedo on normal. And I think 512 samples will be good for this render, but you can use 1024 to have a more detailed render. After you have done that, go to this output properties, and I'm going to make this one to 150, so I will have a higher resolution. So after you have corrected this, what you can do is go to render and then render image. It will render out your image. So guys, this is all for today. I hope you have learned something from this tutorial. If you like it, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can keep making videos like this in the future, and see you in the next tutorial.